Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Endless Encouragement with host Myra Hunn. Today's date is Sunday, September 8th. It is a beautiful day here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm happy to be here. To follow us on Facebook, please go to facebook.com/learning the Lord. And you can also follow this podcast, which is at blogtalkradio.com, LTLN. That's blogtalkradio.com/LTLN. And also all shows will be posted on YouTube. So you can view them and tell all your friends and family and coworkers and everyone you know about the show. And to follow us on YouTube, it is youtube.com/learning the Lord. And the channel name is Endless Encouragement. So you can also just go to youtube.com and search Endless Encouragement, and you'll see the channel Endless Encouragement. You can also please visit our website, which is learningthelord.com, and sign up for our newsletter. We will be rolling out our first newsletter in October. So if you would like to receive our e-newsletter, which is totally free, just go to learningthelord.com on our website and just sign up on the Contact Us, and we will be happy to include you on our newsletter when we do roll that out in October. And if you'd like to be a writer for the newsletter, email learningthelord.com@gmail.com and put the subject as newsletter. I am looking for writers for the newsletter. Anything that is encouraging, inspiring, uplifting, anything to help anyone along their path. I'm looking for those to receive those articles. If you can just email learningthelord.com@gmail.com and put in the subject line newsletter, just to let you know all submissions, they must be original. So if you're going to include any type of pictures or images or articles, it all must be original. And at this time, we're not offering any payments for articles, so hope that doesn't deter you from wanting to be a writer. No experience is necessary, none at all. If you just want to just state a scripture or just state a phrase or something, anything to uplift anyone, please send that, email that information to us. Also, check out our resource page on learningthelord.com, the website. There's a couple of books out there right now on forgiving. And if you follow thechristiansbook.com and make a purchase from my website, that will help me fund this podcast. So once again, just go to learningthelord.com and click on christianbooks.com, and they have a lot of course, Christian books and any type of books to just help you along your path. Right now, I do have 2 books posted up there right now just to help you along, and those books are all about forgiving. One is forgiving others, forgiving me, finding freedom in the journey from pain to purpose, and that book is by Renee Fisher. And then the other book is The Gift of Forgiveness by Charles Stanley. So I do have those 2 books posted on the website, learningthelord.com/resources, and you can just click on the links and it'll take you right to the page to purchase the book. And if you do make the purchase through my website, I will receive funds, and that will help me continue to fund this podcast, just to continue to push encouraging words and inspiring other people along their path. Please follow me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am just so excited every Sunday to know that my show is going to be going live soon. So please follow me every Sunday. You can, if you click on, if you go to blogtalkradio.com/LTLN and you click follow, you will receive a email message when I am going live. So that will help you to remember oh, I have to tune in. To call in number for the show is 917-889-3203 if you would like to join today's discussion. Once again, the call-in number is 917-889-3203. Now, today we are talking about part 2, about forgiving ourselves. Part 1 was about forgiving others, and that podcast was about 2 weeks ago. And I had a list about 10 things why it was important to forgive others. And if you missed that show, just go to learningthelord.com and go to the Endless Encouragement tab to listen to the show. I do have links on the website, which are YouTube links. So if you missed that, just please go to learningthelord.com, and that's where all the, on Endless Encouragement, that's where all the shows will be posted. And also I have on there, posted on the page, is a great article I found about forgiving yourself. So, and it is the basis of the show that I did. So read the great article I found, listen to the podcast, and please feel free to comment on the podcast. And if you have any comments or anything, feel free to, or you want to contact me at any time, feel free to email me at learningthelord.com@gmail.com. Once again, the call-in number is 917-889-3203. So to get into our topic for today, it's all about forgiving yourself. And why is it important to forgive yourself? Well, number one, because you just don't want to go around in, really upset mood because of something that you did in the past. So many people are just walking around with past failures or past things that they have done in their life, and they haven't been able to really forgive themselves. I know that I've gone and done things, and things still haunt me to this day, like, why did you do that? What were you thinking, girl? Or why did you say that? Why did you behave that way? And being able to forgive yourself, it was a long journey for me to get here. I will be completely honest with you. It's a journey to get there, to forgive yourself. But once you get there, you have a sense of relief. And just because you do forgive yourself, don't think that those past memories are not going to come back and they're going to pop up at different times throughout your life when you're least expected. But it's okay, because as long as you forgive yourself, you can recognize it, acknowledge it, deal with it, and move on with your life. And just understanding that forgiving yourself is not about forgetting. I don't want anyone to forget or think that just because you forgive yourself for your past mistakes that you also are going to forget it. You will never forget what you did, especially if it's something like really, really big. But you'll be amazed at just the small things in life that just come and haunt us on a daily basis. And if you're not strong enough, that could really bring you down. And you do not want to be brought down by something so small. You came a long way along your journey, and I know that I fought to where I'm at today to even think about something so small to bring me back down. And you just have to, once again, acknowledge it and move on. The guest call-in number, if you'd like to be part of this discussion, is 917-889-3203. We are talking about forgiving yourself. And one of the things that you do have to remember is that you really have to look inside yourself. And when you look inside yourself, you definitely do not want to kick yourself over and over for your past failures or choices. Those are in the past. Those past failures, the things that you've tried to accomplish and you failed on, those are in the past. Just be happy that You survived whatever it was. Your choices. Maybe you made a wrong choice. Maybe, I don't know what it could be. It could be a host of things. I'm not even going to come up with a list of things, but maybe you made a choice to do something and it just was not the right choice to make. You've done with it. You've dealt with it. It's in the past. Forgive yourself for that choice. Forgive yourself for past failures. You also have to, look inside yourself, and you need to love yourself. That's number one. When you start forgiving yourself, you learn to love yourself. And I love myself. I love who I am today. Like I said, it took me a long time to get here, but I love me. And I've accepted the person and that Christ has made me, and with that, I'm able to just go ahead and forgive myself, because I had to really dig deep. And I really needed to look at myself. And one of the biggest thing in forgiving yourself is looking at yourself. You ever go to the mirror? And I was guilty of this for years. I would just go to the mirror, wouldn't even look in the mirror, or I didn't really pay attention, I should say, to what was staring back at me. I just go and did my hair, brush my teeth, or whatever I need to do, check out, make sure that there was nothing on my face or anything like that, and walked on out of the house and kept it moving. Throughout the day, maybe I'll get a glimpse and I'll just check to see, okay, my lip gloss on right, or my eyeliner's on right, and I'll just keep on moving. But one day, one of the things that everyone should do one day is just stop, take a look in the mirror, and look at the person that you are and accept it. Learn to love it. Just look at it and don't think about your past mistakes. Don't think about your past failures. Just think about where you're at right now in your life. And just think that once you're still standing, you're alive. You may not be where you want to be or where you thought you should be, but look at where you're at. You're not crumbled up in a corner. You're not just down on your luck or anything like that. Just look at yourself in the mirror. And I'm not talking about, the things that you accomplished in life. Yes, it's great to have a house, a car. We're not talking, those things go away. Let's just be honest. A fire comes and poof, they're gone. But guess what? You're still going to be standing. But really look at yourself. Really take a good look at yourself and love the person that you see looking back at you. You've overcame a lot of things in life. I've overcame a lot of things in life. And we're not talking about comparing ourselves at this point. We're just dealing with ourselves and just dealing and looking within ourselves. So you have to learn to accept the person that is staring back at you. No one really wants to say or look at yourself and say, you don't want to look at yourself and say, I should have been finished with college by now, or I should be a big CEO of a company by now, but here I am in my 2-bedroom apartment, or here I am, I don't have a car, or here I am, I have a car, I can't make payments, or here I am, I just don't know what to do. All my friends are doing this, and this is going on in this person's life. But we don't even want to go there. We just want to look at ourselves and just look and learn and love ourselves. And as you start to love yourself, you're going to start forgiving yourself. And you're going to say, I shouldn't have made that choice when I was 18 years old to not go to school. That's one of my things was, at 18, I should have just went ahead and gone to college. But no, I waited till I was like 38 to go to college, But that's okay. I'm there. It's okay. I've accepted that choice. But you have to learn to understand the journey that you've been on for the majority part of your life. And you have to understand that learning to love yourself and forgive yourself, you have to learn to correct that thinking pattern that will tear you down. Your mind will tear you down. You have to learn to correct that. And, if you cannot forgive yourself and learn to be the person that God has made you, then you're going to be torn down in your mind every single day. So that's really the importance of forgiving yourself. It's just learning to love yourself, and learning to know that, Christ forgave us. I mean, he did the ultimate, he forgave us. So why is it so hard for us to forgive ourselves? Is it because we within ourselves know that we've made bad choices, or we have failed at something, or is the fear that, oh my God, everybody know that what I've done, and you feel ashamed of it? Well, guess what? Just because your failures and your choices were out in public, I'll just say that, were out in public to where people could see them, guess what? They also failed. They also made bad choices. You may not know the choices that they made. They may not ever tell you the choices that they made. But guess what? None of us have we're not perfect. So we've all made bad choices. We've all have failed at something in our lives. So just because maybe people know more about the problems that have occurred in your life, they've also had to forgive things in their life. But this show is not about them. This is about you forgiving yourself and just learning to change your mindset. Once you change your mindset, that is the next biggest thing is changing your mindset on how you view things, how you view yourself. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or join the discussion, call 917-889-3203. And you have to just be able to accept yourself. And one of the things that you really want to get into is just by getting in touch with yourself, getting in touch with the feeling that you have. It could be a friend, a close friend, a spiritual being, a person. It could be anyone where you're able to just know and trust and give into that feeling of what you have. And once you give into that feeling and you recognize what it is and you say, okay, this is what I did, you acknowledged it, now let's change the mind. Because the mind, your mindset, you have to change your mindset. It all depends on how your actions are going to be. Once you start getting in touch and making your mind deal with things, you'll start to understand and you'll develop a process on forgiving yourself. And you'll start protecting, what they'll call, we call the inner protector. The things that come up, you'll know how to learn to start dealing with them once you start forgiving yourself. The other thing is, if something bad has happened, you made a bad choice, or you have failed at something, list the good qualities that came out of it. List them. Just take a piece of paper and just start writing them down. If you don't want to write them down, just speak them out loud and know the facts of what actually occurred. The good qualities, that you can take away from what occurred. Everyone likes to say, oh, I failed at this or I failed at that. Well, guess what? What did you learn when you failed? You take a child. And you take a child, you say, and as the child is starting to walk, the child falls several times. If you're a parent, you understand this child will fall several times. Well, guess what? That child doesn't stop getting up. Yeah, it remembers, okay, maybe I shouldn't let go of that table until my other foot is down. So it learned when it failed the first time, it learned that, oh, my foot is not all the way down. I wasn't stable. So when it gets back up, it say, well, I'm going to make sure my other foot is down before I move my hand off this table. So as you go through life and you look and you maybe have failures or bad choices, learn from those. What is the one positive thing you can take away? Just like the child that example I used, the one thing they could take away is that I better not take my hand off until my foot is flat on the ground. You know, look, I've had to go through things in life, and I've had to, you know, whenever I have problems or I feel that maybe I made a bad choice or something, you know, I will look back at the thing, look at whatever it was and say, next time I'm not going to do that. That's a lesson learned. And that's the other thing about forgiving yourself. There's a lesson in everything. Everything's not always negative. You have to be able to find the positive things within yourself in order to forgive yourself. And just sometimes it's a lesson for us. Sometimes we just need to make bad choices so that we know that, hey, we should not have done that, or this is what I needed to know. And if you hadn't done what you did, maybe you wouldn't have known. Now, I'm not saying go out and start just making bad choices. We're not going to do that at all. But I'm just saying forgive yourself for those bad mistakes. You know, if you yelled at a child or lied at work, or you know, you let a friend down or anything like that, whatever it was, acknowledge the facts. What was in your mind at that time? You know, I can think of some things that I've done in my past that in my mindset at that point in time where I was in my life, it was like, whoa, I cannot believe I thought that was going to fly. Or why did I do that? Why did I decide to go to that party? Or why did I decide to do this, you know? But think about what was in your mind at that time. You know, and you don't need to do a history and you don't need to know the history and the results, you know, of yourself and others. You just want the relevant context, you know. Just acknowledge what happened. What was in your mind at that time? Whenever you make that bad choice or you feel that you failed at something, you know, what happened? What led up to it? What was actually in your mind at that time to make you do that or make you even think about doing that or make that choice? You know, and then once you determine what was in your mind at that time, then learn to start dealing with the facts. And then, you know, you want to face the facts, and you don't want to shy away from the facts. You want to face the facts. So when you're looking at your choices that you made and what happened and what was in your mind at that time, this is where it really gets to I would like to say the meat of it, because this is where you have to really are getting to forgive yourself, because now you have to face the facts. And if there's any facts that are hard to face, those are the ones that are keeping you stuck. And it's always the truth that sets us free, but since we're human beings, we don't want to look at the facts. We don't want to look at the why we did what we did, because we don't want to have to face that. You know, if you're an alcoholic and you've been on the wagon for years, and then all of a sudden you decide to take a drink and you really don't want to face why you took that drink, you know, and now you can't forgive yourself and you're spiraling down and you can't understand. But if you go back to what happened at that point in time when you decided to take that drink and what was in your mind at that time, that's what's keeping you stuck. And that is what prevents you from forgiving yourself. See, it's easy to just say, yeah, okay, I shouldn't have said that, okay, and then you just go on with your life, but you never face the facts, and then later on down, you still are still hammering on, oh my goodness, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why? And that's all you can think about. That is what's getting you stuck. But if you go back and you think, what was in your mind at that point? You know, and it's okay. It doesn't mean you have a bad mind. It was what was in your mind at that point. Sometimes we do things spontaneously, and we just go and we just do. And maybe you say, well, there was really nothing in my mind at that point in time, but there was something in your mind. There was something in your mind. Maybe it was to go have some fun. Maybe it was to go tell somebody off because they hurt so-and-so, or I don't know. Maybe that was your mindset at that point in time, and that's the reality, folks. That's what keeps us from forgiving ourselves, is that we get stuck right there because we don't want to face the facts. I know through my journey coming up to where I'm at today, I had to face a lot of different things, and as far as forgiving myself. You know, having 2 kids and just forgiving yourself. You know, it's like, what was I thinking? You know, what happened? What was it? But once you learn and you go and you start to look at your life, you learn to forgive yourself. And, you know, you don't want to get stuck in not forgiving yourself. And it's hard to face the facts. But once those facts are there, and once you're there and you say, okay, this is where I'm at, once you face it, you're unstuck. And, of course, it's going to come back up in your life. It will come back up in your life, but it doesn't mean you have to get stuck again because you've already dealt with it. So move on. Just move on. When it comes back up in your life at any time, just say, yeah, I know what I did. I did that. I dealt with it, and move on. And the other thing is you just have to be honest with yourself, you know, and take responsibility for your faults. You know, you might want to say, I am responsible for X, Y, and Z, and let yourself feel it. Just let yourself feel it. You know, you don't want to, as you're going to forgiving yourself, you don't want to say, well, this person did this and this person did that and this person did this. No, you want to take actions you want to be responsible for your actions. We're not talking about forgiving them. We're talking about forgiving yourself. What was you responsible for? And in the situation, you know, always go back to you. I am responsible for this, and this. And let yourself feel it. Why are you responsible for it? You know, and then as you're looking at the situation, then you can say to yourself, but I am not responsible for this, and this. You know, you're not responsible for the misinterpretations or overreactions of others. You know, let the relief of, you know, what you're not responsible for really sink in. And that is another big thing, is because we sometimes, in forgiving ourselves, we sometimes tend to take on the burdens of others. And we'll say, well, if I wouldn't have said that, she wouldn't have said this, or they wouldn't have said that, and you get stuck right there. Instead of just saying, well, I'm responsible for this, but I am not responsible for that. You know, and that itself is freeing. whenever you're in a situation or you feel that you've been wrong, just look at it and say, I'm responsible for this. I'm not responsible for that. And let yourself free. Let it sink in. Let yourself know I'm not responsible. I need to free myself from whatever it is. And then the other, acknowledge what you've already done and learn from the experience and repair things and make amends. Appreciate yourself. Everyone has something in their life that is just holding them on, that's just, stuck with them. Appreciate yourself. Let it sink in. What did you learn from that experience? Repair things, make amends. If you're able to go and make amends, but also appreciate yourself, and learn from this experience. As I stated, some things you have to change your mindset. A lot of things will happen to you throughout life, but if we allow the negativity of the thing that had occurred affect us, we will always get stuck. And we can't allow that. We have to learn to look at the positive things, and learning to look at the positive things and knowing that maybe, I made a mistake. Yeah, acknowledge it and appreciate yourself. Learn from that experience. In life, you'll have a lot of different experiences that go on. I mean, just think about our everyday life. We have to deal with, gossip. We have to deal with people who misrepresent the truth. We have to deal with people who are nasty, people who you think are your friends and turn out to not be your friends. You have to deal with a lot of different things. And one of the things you have to do is forgive yourself, because none of this is your fault. And if you take on the responsibility that, okay, I said this to this person, or maybe I shouldn't have got into that conversation about the office gossip or something like that, if you are beating yourself up with it, it will show. It will show. And if you're not forgiving yourself, it will start to show in areas of your life, because you'll be upset and you'll be mad and you'll be just hard to deal with, because you can't forgive yourself, and you'll always be on the defense. I know before I was able to forgive myself, I was always on the defense. Always on the defense. That was me. I was on the defense. And I wasn't going to allow you to say anything, because in my mind, because of my past mistakes and my past actions, I felt that was the reason why. That was what you were alluding to, but you just didn't want to say it. And that was my mindset. I had to change my mindset. I had to learn to love myself. I needed to change my attitude. I needed to change who I was on the inside. I needed to look inside myself and say, you know what? I forgive myself for X, Y, and Z. I am taking responsibility for things that I've done, and how can I make things better? I forgive myself or others out there in the world, who have wronged me. I forgive them, but within myself, I am taking responsibility for my actions and for what I have done, and I forgive myself for X, Y, and Z. And once you really begin to actively forgive yourself, and you say it in your mind, you could say it in your mind out loud, writing or just talking to other people, learn to say it. Learn to write it. Learn to just say it out loud. And I forgive myself. For whatever your mind is popping into you for whatever past actions that you may have done. So I forgive myself for X, Y, and Z. And I am taking responsibility. This is what I have done, and this is what I could have done to make things better. But I am moving on. I've learned from this experience. From this experience, I'm taking X, Y, and Z to be able to be a better me. And anyone out there that I've hurt in the world, or anyone that I've wronged in the world, I apologize. I'm sorry. And once you start to do that, and this is not an overnight process, by the way. This is just not going to be one time where you say, okay, I forgive myself. No, this is something that you have to learn to do. This is you have to do this on a daily basis. You have to be able to acknowledge things on a daily basis. You have to be able to forgive yourself on a daily basis. And once you start to do this on a daily basis, it will become a habit, and you will be able to do it much quicker, and you'll be able to move on easier. But in the beginning, it's going to take a little time for you to learn to start to forgive yourself, because we beat ourselves up. We really do. And one way I know for sure that I used to beat myself up was I used to look at other people and say, well, I should be this. Why did I make this decision to do this? I should be doing this right now. Or I'm always living in the past. That's not forgiving yourself if you're living in the past. Oh, I should be doing X, Y, and Z, but instead I'm doing, ABC. That's not forgiving yourself. And you're getting stuck in the past. You are really, when people are saying that they're reaching out for comfort. They're reaching out for help. And I've learned to recognize that in several different people, and one of my things that you can't live in the past. That's gone. Let it go. That's done. Yeah, you didn't make that choice to do that, and it's okay. But look where you're at right now. Look what God has provided for you right now. The choices that you made in life, maybe you may not be where you're at right now, because if you would have made a different choice, I don't know. I can't say that. But look at where you're at right now and learn to forgive yourself. If that decision, it was so bad, why are you in a better place today than where you were at, back then? You have to learn to forgive yourself. And you can't judge yourself on what others are doing or what others are saying, or, I think that's one of the biggest things that we do is we compare ourselves to other people. And you compare yourself at 20, when it really starts, you're in grade school, oh, I'm going to graduate, oh, I'm going to go to college, oh, I'm going to, get married, oh, I'm going to buy a house, and oh, I'm going to get this great job, and you look up and you're 35 years old, and, you don't have anything that you said you were going to have, and so now you feel that you're stuck. But all those years leading to where you're at 35, it's been a blessing. You just haven't looked at the experience. You haven't been able to take away the positivity of those experiences, of those choices that you made. Now, I'm not saying all choices have a positive experience in it. If it's a damaging choice that you made, I can't say that that's a positive. So I just wanted to say that. But you can still move on even from the damaging choices that you made in life. That you don't have to feel stuck. You don't have to feel as though you can't learn from that experience. You don't have to just say, well, I will never amount to anything because I did X, Y, or Z. Yes, you can amount to something. You really can. It's your mindset that's going to stop you. It's not people that stop people. It's you that stop people. Your mind stops you. And that's where people get stuck because you haven't forgiven yourself. And when you forgive yourself, you walk within a total new light. You know, if you've been turned down for jobs because of whatever the reason may be and you're beating yourself up, learn to forgive yourself for whatever it may be. And once you start to forgive yourself, I guarantee, you know, you'll probably walk into the next place with this attitude of, yeah, this is me, and they'll see it. And you have to be able to forgive yourself. And it's not going to be an easy process. It's not going to be an overnight process, but you have to actively forgive yourself for things that you've done in life. And no one is exempt from it. Trust me, no one is exempt from doing anything in life. People, we do things every day. We really do. And none is perfect, because if we were all perfect, there would have been no reason for Jesus to die on the cross for our sins. So, you know, there would be no reason for that. And there was a reason, because we're not perfect. So, therefore, no one is without any bad choices, or no one or without any failures. As I stated, you know, this is dealing with you. I don't know what goes on in other people's life, nor do I care. I just try to maintain through what I got going on, you know. And all the steps that I've given to you, you're going to need to go through the steps more than one time. And it's not going to be, it's going to take some time to sink in, you know. But if you open up your mind, open up your heart to it, and reflect on how it's going to positively affect you, and most of all, stop beating yourself up. Oh, my goodness. Stop beating yourself up. It's the worst thing that you can do in life, is just continue to beat yourself up. Don't get stuck. Say today, I am no longer going to get stuck. I'm going to forgive myself for X, Y, and Z. I'm taking responsibility for the things that I've done, and I'm moving on. And once you do that, you will learn to forgive yourself. You will learn to say, okay, I can deal with this. And if things comes up in your past, just say, okay, yes, I've done that. You know, and believe me, it always comes at the time in life when you're probably riding high, and then all of a sudden, bam, you see someone from the past, and they bring up, you remember when you did X, Y, and Z? You know, you can laugh and joke, say, yeah, I made that stupid choice, but this is what I learned from it. And you can turn the whole conversation around, you know, because if you don't learn to do this and learn to forgive yourself, that person will help to keep you stuck, because they're like, man, you know, I don't know why you did that, you know, what was you thinking? Why would you do that? You know, and have you recovered from it? And they'll just want to just go into that, make you relive the whole entire situation, the whole choice that you made. But no, you have the power to change it. You just have to learn to forgive yourself first for the things that you've done. And then you can go to if they come to you with the craziness that you've done, and you can laugh, ha, 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 but this is what I found out. And this is where I'm at today. And had I not made that choice to do X, Y, and Z, I would not have been able to find A, B, C, and now I'm in a better place. So you have to, and that's all part of forgiving yourself. So, you know, you want to be honest with yourself when things happen. You know, be honest. Just, yep, I did it. Yes, acknowledge it, but move on. And once you learn to do those things, you'll be able to just about get over just about everything. Now, just understand too, forgiving yourself is going to be probably an everyday thing. I know that every day I look back and I say, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have sent that email. Or maybe I shouldn't have have gone to that person, or maybe I shouldn't have called that person or avoided that person, or whatever the case may be. You just have to learn to forgive yourself. Forgive the actions that you had in it. We're not talking about the other person. We're talking about you, because you have to get unstuck. And I want you to get unstuck. You don't want to stay in the same place allowing your past to dictate your future. It doesn't. Yes, your past made you who you are today, but it does not dictate your future. And that's what a lot of people really don't understand, is that, I'm looking at my past. Yeah, it taught me a lot. It really taught me a lot of things, and I can draw on a lot of different experiences on the things that I've gone through in life. And those experiences I have been able to turn into positive things, from dealing with family to dealing with my kids to dealing with friends, co-workers, associates, whatever the case may be, because I've learned to forgive myself, and I've learned to take any experiences that I have and turn it into a positive experience, and learn to forgive myself on a daily basis, because I'm going to make mistakes on a daily basis. Because why? I'm human. Yeah, I said it. I am human. And you're human too, so you're going to make mistakes on a daily basis. Excuse me, I had to take some water. I was a little thirsty there. But you're going to make mistakes on a daily basis, and it's okay, because you just have to learn to know when you do make a mistake, or the choices that you made, you want to face it. Just face the facts. Just face it. Okay, what happened? What was in my mind at that time? Why did I do what I did? And once you start to do that, you'll understand that, okay, I can forgive myself because I was at a crazy state and was to why I did what I did. And then find someone that you can confide in. And when I say find someone that you can confide in, find someone who is not who is biased, who's going to take your well-being first, who's going to tell you the truth. Because I believe that I'm a firm believer, if you tell me what I want to hear, you're not telling me the truth. And you want to find someone that's going to tell you the truth, tell you the things that you don't want to hear. And when you make that choice, or you make that, or you do something, you want to go to that person and have them tell you, that was wrong what you did. That was really wrong. What were you thinking? What made you do that? And those are the people that you want around you in your life, and as you surround yourself with good people who care about you, who are going to tell you and make you a better you, you become a better you. And, one of the things I find in life is that, it's great to have a lot of friends, but it's also great to just have one person that just really understands who you are as a person. And, you need that in life. And, so I'll go back through the list again, and just, as you go through your journey, go through your life, and as you travel along the way, just understand that forgiving yourself is so important. It is really so important, because it's what's going to allow you to really move ahead in life and to get past a lot of things, to get past a lot of bitterness, and to get to where you need to be, because you're looking at your faults, and, you're going to be scared when you first start going through this process of forgiving yourself. You're going to be scared. You're going to be like, I don't really want to deal with it. But if you listen to my first show, I have what I call a rug that I put everything up under in life. Well, I had to start cleaning out from up under my rug because too many things were just coming out from up under that rug. And one of the things that was coming up out was forgiving myself. And once I pulled the rug out from up under there and started forgiving myself and looking through my life and looking at my choices and the faults that I have, the problems that I have, the things I messed up on, and the guilt that I didn't even talk about the guilt that surrounds you every single day. It can affect your health. I mean, a lot of things can go on. The guilt alone in your choices will bring you down, will keep you stuck because you're guilty and you can't go past it, and that guilt, you want to get rid of all that excessive guilt that you have, because you can't make the world a better place, by undermining your energy, your mood, your confidence, nor your sense of worth. You can't, because if you're always, in this mood of guilt, then you're always going to be on the defense. You're never going to be a happy person. Everything that happens to you is always going to be an issue. It could be a simple thing as a bill coming in the mail. That could set you off because you have to learn to forgive yourself. And there's no quick fix to forgiving yourself. It takes time. It's going to take time, but try not to be hard on yourself. Once again, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and say, this is who I am. And whatever comes to your mind, I'm going to forgive myself for doing this. I am a better person for this. I am a better person now. But look at the situation that you had done and state, I am responsible for this, this, and this, and let yourself feel it. Don't deny the feeling. Just let yourself feel it, and then just say, "Well, I'm not responsible for X, Y, and Z." And let that relief come across you and let you know that, okay, this is what I'm responsible for. I can't be responsible for other people's feelings or actions. And I know that's one of my biggest things that I always tell people is that I can't be responsible for people's feelings or actions. I can't think for people. I just can't. And I refuse to do that because I'm not a psychic. But, if someone overreacts or someone, is being conniving or something, I can't deal with that. That's just them. I have no part in that. I just have to deal with myself, and acknowledge what you already done and learn from that experience, and learn to repair things and make amends with it. Let it sink in. Appreciate yourself. Like I said, acknowledge it. Don't shy away from it. Don't say, oh, I don't want to think about what I just did. No, think about what you just did. Acknowledge it. Learn from it. Take it in and say, well, this is what I did. I did do this and I did do that and this is what I was thinking when I did it, and learn to acknowledge it and don't live in the past. Do not live in the past. If you thought at a certain age you were going to be doing whatever, running a company, and you're not doing that, don't live in that past because you're getting stuck in the past. You have a new life now. Love your new life now. Forgive yourself for that choice that deterred you or took you off of the path of where you thought you should be. It's just, I hear that a lot. Well, I should be doing this right now, but instead I'm doing this. Or I should be ahead of the company and I'm doing this. Or I've been to college and this is where I'm at. Don't live in the past. The past is the past. And that will always get you stuck. for not forgiving yourself. Just learn to live and acknowledge where you're at right now and just say, okay, well, you can't go back and make the change, so just deal with where you're at right now. Acknowledge where you're at. Always forgive yourself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And, once again, you may have to go through all of these steps more than one time. You may have, more than likely you will have to go through them more than one time until you learn to forgive yourself. And there's going to be things that's going to pop up that you probably never even thought about in life, but it's okay. Some of the biggest mistakes that you just allowed yourself to haunt you for years, those are going to be the toughest ones. But learn to forgive yourself on a daily basis and learn from your mistakes. Learn from your experiences. And you'll be a better you when you start to do that. And trust me, if God can forgive you, how come you can't forgive yourself? And that alone should tell you to forgive yourself. Learn to love the person that you see staring back at you and the person that God has made you. Learn to love that person. Look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. What do you see? You don't see, when I look in the mirror, I don't see a failure. I see somebody that survived a lot of different bad choices. When I look in the mirror, that's what I see. Someone who survived it. I am here as a testimony. I survived it. And I see a person that is full of love, that God loves, and, that he holds nothing against me, So that's when I look in the mirror, that's who I see. Like, wow, I don't even think about the past unless it pops into my mind what is going on. But learn to just look in the mirror and say, this is who I am. Be honest with yourself. Be honest. That's the most important thing. It's just being honest and learning to look inside yourself and love yourself. And once you do that, you will be a better person, and you will learn to love yourself. Well, once again, thanks for joining in. And I really enjoyed this show today. And follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Learning the Lord. You can follow the podcast, blogtalkradio.com/LTLN. If you click on follow on Blog Talk Radio, you'll get an email message when the show is going live. You will also get the call-in number a little faster. Also follow on YouTube, youtube.com, Learning the Lord. The channel name is Endless Encouragement. So tell all your friends that if they missed the show or anytime that you miss the show, you can follow us on YouTube. And the channel name is Endless Encouragement. And go to our website, learningthelord.com, and sign up for our newsletter. If you'd like to write for our newsletter, just email learningthelord.com@gmail.com, and that is and put the subject subject newsletter. All submission must be original, and at this time, no payments for the articles is being given out. But please, no experience is necessary to write for the newsletter. No experience, as long as it's uplifting, encouraging, and inspiring other people. We would love to hear from you. Also, check out our resource page for books on forgiving, and follow the link to christianbooks.com. All purchases coming from my site will help me fund this podcast. I really do appreciate you listening in. Please follow me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And also go to our Facebook.com/Learning the Lord for any show updates. And I do appreciate you listening to this podcast. I hope you do learn to forgive yourself. I hope that that this will help you along your journey. So everyone have a nice week. Thanks again for listening in. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.